We were talking about meth earlier, and I was saying some people do meth casually and they're fine. I have a meth head here.
Oh, come on over, sir or madam.
I hope it's him in a costume.
Residential meth head.
Oh, no, it's an actual. Oh. So
how's it going?
Head. Yeah, it's me. I love it.
I thought you'd be thinner.
Listen, I've probably been doing meth since 2000.
Okay. Do you do it every day or just a treat?
I did for 11 years straight. I did every day.
What's the best thing to do on meth? Like what's the sex? Tell me what's better about meth sex to not.
Oh my God, they call it chem-sex. It's just intense, but it gets crazy though, because you'll get people will get their weird perversions that'll come out.
It lowers your inhibitions.
Have a chick, or some chick stab you?
Yeah, she stabbed me.
Oh wow!
Does meth last too long? I don't know if it's related.
Oh yeah, it's not like coke where you get coke dick and you can't get it up. Like you'll get it up and it'll be up for like a week.
Yeah,
like
it sounds way better than coke.
I remember one time I was banging this chick, and we didn't leave the bedroom, honest to God, for 24 hours straight.
Oh, that must have smelled terrible.
Dude, I think we sweat through the mattress, the box spring, the rug, and the floor. Yeah, it was pretty intense.
Oh, my God.
Just rotted the floorboards out.
How often do you dabble with the meth now?
Very
holidays.
Not as infrequently now. Yeah, like special occasions, special events.
Yeah,
Christmas, Mother's Day.
My regular was 6 days up, 1 day sleep.
So what's the trick to doing meth and not dying? Living a life.
You don't smoke it and you don't shoot it.
You snort it,
sniff it, or ingest it. Like you could just throw it in your mouth and eat it, or put it in your. I was in a motorcycle club. I used to put it in my water or Gatorade and shake it up.
Jesus.
And just drink it as I go out throughout my day.
A little meth at a time. He made a Gator meth.
Yeah.
How do you find a meth dealer?
Being in possession, because they're not going to taste your water or your
It'd be so, unless the cop I'm so thirsty, sir. Could I just
Yeah. Well, excuse me, I know it's 117 degrees out here in Utah, but can I have some of your Gatorade? No.
You've shown me a whole new side.
I know, guys. I'm from New York. I live about a mile from Gavin, and there's guys that I know that are in their 80s that have, for the last 40 years, religiously every day gotten up and put in their coffee or their orange juice or whatever morning breakfast that they're having, like an old school, like 80s Coke spoon amount of meth into it. Just shake, stir it in, and drink it, and go about their day. And
so they're still around because I guess they're keeping it to a low dose.
Yeah, if you low dose it, if you microdose it, you'll be all right.
Microdosing meth.
The thing is people start to do it. They think it's like Coke, and they start laying out big rails, and they overdo it. And we used to call it getting caught deep in the bag.
Oh, let me ask you this. So you've taken real meth, obviously. Have you ever taken Adderall or Ritalin?
I've taken Adderall once in my life.
How does that compare?
I wouldn't take it. I don't do it. I know. I mean, excuse me. I mean, there are so many people that I know that do take Adderall. They call them peachies, the 30s, the little orange ones.
Mm-hmm.
But I like meth.
Okay. Yeah, it's just better, stronger, smoother.
I used to get stuff that was 97.7% pure. So,
Jesus, got that Walter White shit. Okay.
Oh yeah.
How expensive does that get though? So can you support a meth habit with a regular job? Does it get expensive?
Well, the thing is say if you bought a gram, like right now it's super cheap. Like you used to say on the East Coast, it's not very prevalent. On the West Coast, you could probably get an ounce for like $700, $500, $600 for an ounce.
A lot for that amount of money. I mean, that doesn't seem very expensive.
Right, yeah.
I don't know how much a dose is.
How many coffees will that last you?
Well, I can make a gram last like a week and a half.
Okay, 28 grams in an ounce.
Yeah, 28 grams in an ounce. But like the thing is, if you do it correct, like if you microdose it and you do it to where you can function and everything, or if you end up being like the people on the streets of Philadelphia and all that, where they're all spaced out and laying in the puddle trying to swim across the ocean. I mean, that'll happen.
Did you ever mix it with other drugs, or were you always just a pure meth guy?
I did tons of coke back in the 90s. I started doing meth around 2000-ish, like just around 2000.
Okay, so you're just an uppers guy. No,
yeah, I'm an upper guy. Yeah,
you're like,
I mean, they say it was polysubstance abuse because I do alcohol, smoke weed, mescaline, acid, mushrooms, shit like that.
Yeah.
Did addiction ever cause you to make bad decisions? Like,
Oh, fuck yeah. I spent 10 years in prison.
Oh, all right.
I did 46 months in federal prison and just about 6 years on and off in between county and state.
stealing?
No.
Oh,
Fights.
Oh.
No, I wasn't a thief.
That's like a typical thing that you hear. You steal
drug habit now.
You're right.
Yeah, was there a time when you'd get methed up and then you just wanted to fight, or it was just the characters you were hanging around were goading you into it?
Well, it could have been either perceived or imaginary in your head at the time if you're that spun out.
Yeah.
You think you're easier to like?
I would usually stay up 6 days, like normal, throughout the week, and then I would sleep one day. And you don't need like a 20-hour sleep day. You sleep 8 hours, 10 hours, and you're fine. Like
wow,
you would stay up for 6 days straight?
Yeah.
What would you do for 20? Have sex all day? Is there? Oh, I think I would run out of stuff to do.
Holy
It'd just be chores.
Now,
I'd start getting angry at the meth. Like I don't
Get really good at video games.
Well, no, I mean, when you're around people that are living the same lifestyle, it's a little different.
Yeah,
it's like you're not looking to go to your 9-to-5 job.
Yeah. What's the
Like
second best thing to do on meth? If you can't find a woman, what's the second best thing to do on meth?
Oh man, people jerking off for a week straight.
Who needs a woman, Dick? Use your imagination.
What's the longest you ever?
I think he meant the non-sexual.
Am I on meth right now? I think I might be.
What's the longest you ever kept a jack off session going on meth?
I've done a couple days straight. Yeah, at least 3 days.
What eventually stops you? Is it the coming or just pain of like, oh, I need to let my dick go?
Does your dick skin wear off?
You made your dick through a cheese grater.
It's like, oh my god, it's like saddle
Does
sores.
your porn of choice just get kinkier and kinkier? And
that's what I said. It's weird because I've seen like in the group of people that I was around, you would see people's sexual deviance. The deviance,
right? Not you, of course. All those other people.
Yeah.
Oh man, oof.
What's the worst thing you saw? Like you got some upstanding guy, and then all of a sudden you look over there, and what do you see?
Hold on. Well, I gotta go because I gotta go do the show with Gavin. He's over here screaming at me.
All right, Zach, get this gentleman's contact info.
We want his contact.
Gavin has all my info. You got it.
We'll get that.
Hey guys,
take care.
Good night.
See you later.
Meth guy there. Okay, good night to him.
Damn, that guy rules.
He was way better than the mushroom guy we had.
Yeah,
dude, who could have guessed?
Leave my kids with that guy. He's cool. He's not going to fall asleep. Let him wander.
He's going to be too busy jacking off to do anything.
Well, hopefully he doesn't involve him in all that. Maybe he can keep it in his pants.
We got right to like, tell me about the kinks, and he's like, gotta run. I'm like,
couple days of jacking off.
Kids can probably fight him off if he's jacking off, though. You know, he's only got one arm.
Yeah.
So
did you see him scratching the sores on his face?
No.
Oh my god! I was at one point. I was like. He's actively scratching his skin off.
I thought
face.
he wasn't on meth anymore, Mike.
He dabbles.
Okay.
He dabbles.
He's doing a Godfather impression. That's what I thought, but at like double speed. Oh, you come to me on this today, my meth.
You come to me today on my day. Today, my daughter's wedding.
Oh, you're supposed to jack off too. Look, I got 6 days here. All right, I got a lot of jacking off to do.
I wonder, there has to be a huge amount of time dilation then, like where he thinks he's jacking off for like 5 hours, and then he looks up and it's been a day and a half. Or maybe it really is.
God.
He's just loving it so much that it's like, I'm going to I can't, man, it's Monday morning. I just had my meth coffee. I got lots of meth. I can't wait to jack off for 2 full days.
Those 80-year-olds he was talking about who do a little spoonful of meth in their coffee and they're fine. They're actually 30-year-olds.
Yeah, they
Just FYI.
Doesn't look a day over 87. Just, 41.
They live into their 80s.
I love that impromptu meth addict pop in. That's great,
dude. I love that. I really get his contact info, Zach. I want to have the.
You said he got him.
Okay,
good. Yeah. I want to talk to him again in the future for sure.
Well, have you been doing any meth, Dick?
Not lately.
Square.
No.
You just on your fancy whiskeys.
Maybe I should.
That's
try
what you
it,
like,
yeah.
right?
Next time my girlfriend gets almond milk, I hate putting that in my coffee. Maybe I'll try a little meth.
You can't hurt. And that guy didn't seem addicted. He said he did
He seemed fine.
He seemed totally fine. He said he's a Christmas and Easter meth head. You know,
Yeah.
you kind of
What does that guy do for Gavin?
I guess
They're
they do that
neighbors.
show
Saw
together.
it.
Yeah,
They're neighbors.
He said he lived a mile away.
Okay.
that's
That doesn't
interesting.
explain-
'cause
that's
Is
I-
not
not
a
a neighbor, though. That's
mile
just-
or
yeah.
Yeah, it's not a
How do they know
complete
each other?
explanation. I'll grant you that. But
Yeah. Well, it only takes me 3 minutes to sprint here, so you know.
they met at the Rotary Club, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, that's an interesting place because I know, or at least I suspect, Gavin is a very well-off individual.
yeah.
And so maybe this guy's got meth money. Maybe he was, the dealer in the biker gang.
He got meth money by using meth.
Well, he had so
Sure.
Yeah, he had so much of. How do
Made
you
him a
think
good
you become an
investor?
excellent drug dealer? You got to meth up.
I don't think he. I think by not being a drug addict. I think that's step one.
That is step one. You're right.
That's like first things first. Get rid of that gnawing habit for your product you have.
And then
I
you
knew-
just
I
sell it to your friends, right? Like you
Oh,
get
yeah.
in, you let the drug make your friends, and then you quit and just sell it to them.
Even
I heard
school, I
the tape.
think
He said it.
you put a puppy in. Imagine you put a puppy in a tiny little dog crate for 70% of the day. Puppies need to run around, and they put them in these tiny little desks. They get it. When we were young, we had 2 recesses, and then we had an hour for lunch. They're getting like no recess sometimes, and then their lunch is like half an hour to eat and half an hour to play. And then on Saturday, I'll see my youngest boy, 11, with his kid. They will destroy the house, destroy outside, make up 7 games on the trampoline, fucking making jumps, and it's a good 10 hours of like what you and I would consider sprinting.
Yeah.
And I go, you put these things in a little fucking box to do what? To draw? Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. The same way, like I was, born in early 90s, 91. And so like the first huge wave of putting kids on like Ritalin was happening when I was in grade school. Shout out to my parents for not allowing, like I had a teacher in like second grade be like, Taylor's really kind of energetic and he won't stop talking during
Can you
class.
imagine? This is a
You'd have
smart
won
guy,
spelling
Gavin.
bees. Yeah, you'd have been
You
on
put this guy on
ESPN.
amphetamines,
No.
he could have went far.
I could have been something.
You could have been something.
We'd be saluting you or like buying something with your name on it. A little
Instead, you
Adderall
tell
would've-
dick jokes on a podcast.
That's fair. That's true. Maybe they were wrong.
Any way to make money. That's
They
pretty
should've drugged
smart.
me up. But I remember that. Like there was a friend of mine who still a close friend of mine, actually listens to this show sometimes, and he had such little appetite from being a grade schooler on meth that like he didn't grow as big as he could have. And I think he fueled me into becoming bigger because he would get in trouble, scolded by his mom if he would come home with food in his lunchbox. And so for like a solid, I think all of second and third grade, I ate 2 lunches every single day. I'd be like, what's on the docket today, bud? And then he'd take out his salami
he
sandwich.
keeps getting skinnier, so his lunches keep getting bigger and fattier.
Oh yeah, I was cooking. My body was cooking in the age of 8
You
and
know
9.
what they do up in Westchester where I live? They'll say to the parent, your kid's doing pretty badly. We're going to have to fail him, and he's not going to move forward. And they go, oh, fuck, what can we do about this? Well, he's very fidgety in class. I think he might have attention deficit disorder, which we all have. And so they go, okay, if you can get that diagnosed, then I can't punish him because that's a disease. And they go, okay, great, I'll do it. So they go get a child psychologist. He says, yes, he has ADHD, whatever. And then they go, oh, he has ADHD. He needs Ritalin or Adderall. And because he has a disease, you need to take the medication for the disease. So you've just extorted this woman and forced her to make her son into a speed addict. It's amphetamine sulfate. It's meth. And you made a kid do meth, teacher, that you want your kids to be high because you'll get better grades because they're beaming. That's what they do with homework.
They've got that
I say to my
blitzkrieg
kids, I go,
energy.
homework isn't in the real world. People don't bring work home, like maybe 3 times a year, but your dad doesn't like unfold his briefcase after dinner and start working on that budget report. He did that at work. So you're doing extra work because she didn't do her job. Now they're making the kids do speed. They're making them into meth heads, so she'll get better test results. It's fucking child abuse. Have you done Adderall?
Oh yeah.
Like I take
in college.
Not
Yeah,
really.
a couple
I did
times.
a 5 milligram pill, like the cut one into quarters.
Yeah.
Had it at like 7 a.m. with a coffee. At like 11:30, I need half a bottle of bourbon just to get to bed.
Yeah, you need that smoothed over. I've taken I was prescribed Adderall, so I can get a prescription whenever I want. That's basically how it works. And oh my God, it's great. And small doses of it are like energy and motivation personified.
Oh my God.
I know somebody who takes, I think our boy Dirt takes either 40 or 60 milligrams a day.
Holy fuck.
So like if he ran out of pills, he could like die.
No, I think he just wants some more.
And the withdrawals are pretty bad, I heard. I did it on Joe Rogan's podcast. I had just a quarter and like 4 beers, so I'm like relaxed and a genius. And Rogan was like, I have a new best friend. So he invited me to like a MMA fight. I got front row seats. And then he when he was in New York, he invited me to the green room at I forget the name of the place. It's on the Upper East Side.
Comedy Cellar.
It's a tiny green room, like it's the size of my office here. And so we're almost like facing each other in a bathroom, basically. And I'm not on Adderall. And I'm just like me. So I'm like, I had a fart earlier and I was like, I thought it was a shit, but I know wiping it wasn't. It was just like, I guess my ass was sweaty. And he's like, what is this? My genius friend.
I thought you were always going to be on point, dude.
Yeah, you lied. I didn't lie. I'm a friend. Look, I'm strong.
Look, I got tattoos just like you, Joe Rogan.
Yeah. Look at this. Upside down guy. And then
Adderall is
You
so
should
much
not be
energy.
giving it to kids.
I know the Nazis were on amphetamines throughout a lot of the Blitzkrieg, and it makes sense. Like it's perfect for to just be able to work for days on end while eating very little
and everything. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just your if you're doing a job like sighting, if you're looking for the enemy or something, being able to stay awake and focused. You know when you haven't eaten breakfast and you maybe you walk 20 miles that day, pop that pill and you're fucking the best you can be.
If Adderall makes people thrive in school and in productivity and organize their fucking Spotify playlists or whatever it makes them do,
sure.
Why does meth ruin people? Like
it's true. Oh, it's just a matter of how much. I mean, Adderall is metered out in small doses. No one does like a little lick of meth. They do like this much, and then they're awake for 22 days. But
see, there's lots of people who just do meth and they don't ruin their lives though. Like you mentioned how like strippers and porn stars do meth. Like they're all functioning meth.
They're winners.
Users. I mean, there's some people. I mean, they're getting the job done. She's on
I've
that
got a
pole every
meth head
night.
coming over in
Those girls
20
make
minutes.
$8 grand a week.
Matty Odell. We do this show on Thursday nights. That's where I got to go soon. Where it's called Cops and Robber on censored.tv. And we watch cop videos with cops. And then we have Matty as the felon. And Matty's got a bad ticker. So he'll just have a little bit of mass, just a little dip, and it'll help him stay up and be sharp. And he's been doing meth for like decades. Lemmy from Motorhead, he would. I know a band that went on tour with them. He'd have a dinner plate full of speed, and like a pile of speed, this much speed, and he would lick his switchblade, and then he would dip it onto the powder, just a little bit, and then he would lick the knife.
Yeah,
and he lived to like 77. I don't know how old he was, but he was fucking old.
That's a long time to live, licking drugs off a knife. That is a pretty cool way to get fucked up.
I saw a documentary about it, and his son was in the documentary, and his son said he died at 70. His son said his son said that Lemmy said to him, "Son, I want you to know that drugs kill, and I've lost a lot of friends to heroin, and it's a deadly drug that will ruin your life. Even well before you die, it will have destroyed everything around you. But if you are going to do drugs, do speed. You won't die."
Yeah, it's a productive drug. Well, I guess in the world compared to heroin, like nobody's getting anything done on heroin.
You need your television taken apart real quick? You're in luck, sir.
Yeah, but like you're right about the meth being the amounts, because I thought for the longest time that meth, like that something about smoking it actually destroyed your teeth, but apparently that's not even true. Like their teeth fall apart because they're just awake with the driest mouth in the world for days on end, not brushing, not doing anything, but, taking apart and putting together ham radios incorrectly. Like, that's all I can imagine they're doing.
Well,
and not eating or drinking.
Fucking kegs of alcohol, like Coke and speed. I mean, I've done plenty of both, but without booze, there'd be no fun. I had this trainer once who would just do Coke. He didn't like alcohol, and he would go to these clubs. He was ripped, and he'd go to these clubs like, and girls would hit on him because he was so muscular, and he would just go, "Give me your number." So they would write their names and their phone numbers and hand it to him, and then he called them the next day when he could speak. But otherwise, he was just weak. It's no fun.
Did you find Coke addictive? Like, I mean, it sounds like a dumb question, but no, you didn't have a pull towards it.
No, I've seen guys get addicted, and I saw one guy die, Harold Hunter from Kids, that skater kid, the black kid. I think he OD'd. He had a heart attack or something. And I guess old dudes like John Entwistle and John Peel, I think when you hear someone dies at like 3 a.m. on a Friday night, and you're like, yeah, I think I know what caused your heart attack. But
I haven't tried Coke, but I've read about it, and I've heard that people are kind of underwhelmed. Like, it's not this, oh my God, this is the dragon that you've been warning me about, and it's really just kind of a mild happiness.
Well, if you were in really great shape and you had a good breakfast, and you got a raise that day or something, and your wife was madly in love with you, and she was trying to blow you, and you're like, not now, I got to get to work, to my fun job. That's kind of like what it is. It's not like acid where the walls are breathing and there's a little Ewok comes in and tells you to go fuck yourself. This is and just so if you're at a bar and you're getting sloppy and you're tired and you don't feel like socializing, you can instantly have that fit guy just had a big breakfast, and then you're like, hi everyone.
Okay.
But it's not good when you get old, especially now with fentanyl. I mean, it's Russian roulette.
Right.
That's true. That would be scary. Yeah. I like
acid, though. These guys have these test kits, but the thing I don't get about the test kit is you're assuming that the fentanyl is 100% consistent throughout 100% of this cocaine you have.
Yeah.
Like, how do you not know there's a little chunk over there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there is no way to know.
I always took the test kits to be for drinks, like someone who spiked your drink. And then in that situation, it might be, like,
you sure it would be, specifically fentanyl test kits for cocaine.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
You can take your drugs to a place outside the club in many cases, and they'll test your drugs, give them back.
So I guess I never really thought about how few people you hear dying from cocaine. Like, it's usually heroin. Wait, John Candy. Did John Candy die from?
I think he was
not John
both.
Candy. Fucking the other one.
Farley.
Chris Farley.
Belushi?
Yeah. Chris Farley. I think
Belushi, Farley. I think they were all doing. What do you call it with coke and heroin together? Speedballs. Yeah. Because heroin relaxes you so much that your lungs forget to breathe and you suffocate. Cocaine just makes you annoying.
Oh yeah, dude, I would rather be around a bunch of drunk people sober than a bunch of coked out people sober, because it's so fucking obnoxious. They all are like getting along too well, coming up with business ideas and like making like guaranteed promises to each other that like, we're doing this, man. Oh, I know. Oh yeah, don't you think that this is just us talking shit right now, dude, brother? Who are you talking to right now?
We're
like doing that kind of shit, and you're just sitting there like, oh, no one wants a competitor to Uber, but it's an ice cream trucks.
You know what else they do? They think it's louder
one guy wants that
than it is, so they talk into your ear like this, but their lips are basically touching your ear, and they're like, that girl over there with the red dress on, and she's been staring, and you're like, dude, get out of my ear hole.
Yeah. In order to enjoy being around someone who's on coke, you have to be like, I guess I'll do a little coke. Get me onto the ground floor of your fucking.
And then you guys are starting a grilled cheese restaurant.
Yeah. No thought of, is that enough on the menu? Grilled cheese? Dude, we'll call it Mom's Old Style Grilled Cheese and Tomato Soup. We're going to have 15 different kinds of grilled cheese.
Jalapenos. One will have jalapenos. It'll be spicy.
Gavin, yes. We are absolutely doing
fine.
that.
I'm calling that one. That's called the Gav.
That's called the Gavin. That's called the McKinnis. Oh, we can all have ones named after ourselves.
That's
I had a friend
It's
in
Nico in here.
I had a friend in college
plummeting.
who I had multiple friends in college that sold weed, and one of them was more of an acquaintance who was the roommate of one of my close buddies, and this guy sold like, quaps, pounds, like big amounts of weed, and so my buddy's like, I'm like, you can at least smoke us out for free and everything while we live here, because we're taking a big risk being on a college campus here while you have this amount of weed. Like, we're all going to jail.
Yeah.
And so we just had free weed for a while. And when I would pop by, maybe I get a little free weed. And it eventually got to the point, he's like, yeah, my buddy was like he was a weed dealer, and he, kind of fell out of interest with weed and enjoyed like uppers and that kind of stuff, and like prescription pills. And so sometimes I'd be hanging out, and then he'd text me and be like, I'm not home right now. Stevie's coming by to pick up a quarter ounce. Can you give it to him and, weigh it out and pay? And he's like, and so I said, yeah, I gotta help him out. Hey, Taylor's coming by to pick up an eighth. Oh, I know Taylor's one of my good buddies. Do this. And he's like, after a couple months of that, it got to the point that like, I was just dealing large amounts of drugs to further and further, tangentially related people, until it was like, hey, my buddy Davon is coming over to pick up a half pound. Can you give that to him? He's like, no, I can't do this anymore, man. I can't be roped into your seedy world.
There's a guy named Sergeant Murphy on his way over.
He said he's like, and everything was going smooth for a long while, until one day he got fucked up on pills, and there were a bunch of people over, and so he didn't buy a safe for some reason. And so he just had 2 pounds of marijuana under his bed. And he was so fucked up, he forgot that he hid it. And so the next morning he came down screaming and accusing all of us of having robbed him. And we had to sit him down and be like, where would we sell the drugs from? Where would we do the drugs? We live together. What do you think we have to gain here by robbing you of the 2 pounds? And he's like, and like 5 minutes later, went upstairs, found his weed, and came back down and was like, big misunderstanding, guys. I didn't mean to do that. And yeah, so that's how he played a little bit of a role in a drug dealing ring. And then
he was a drug dealer.
He was actually a drug. He was okay. Yeah, that's how he was a drug dealer.
I'm just helping out. I just like helping my friends, Your Honor.
I just like to help him out. I did. That is true.
In exchange for money.
He did.
I heard one of those morning radio shows where, like, if your date doesn't go well, you call in to like the cruise crew, and they'll call up this guy who stiffed you or whatever, and the lady's like, "Yeah, I don't understand. Mark and I had a great time. We went out dancing. We got some drinks, and then nothing." And like, all right, we're gonna call this Mark up and see what his fucking problem is. And Mark's like, "Hello, did you go out with a Kathy last night?" Yeah, I did. And you didn't call her back or anything. It's been a week. Yeah. We went out dancing, and then she wanted to go get some more drinks, which seemed cool. And she said, "Hey, could you take me to Target real quick?" Which I thought was weird, but sure, I took her to Target. But then she wanted to meet her friend, and he was parked way at the edge of the parking lot, which was weird too. And she said, "Hey, he's got something for me." And I reached out the window, and he handed me a bag of cocaine. And I looked at her, and she handed me a wad of money. And I, in that moment, became a cocaine buyer. Forcibly. He's like, "I got a job and shit. That's not me. That's not my life." And they're like, "Why would you tell us this if you're literally buying cocaine?" She's like, "It's not that big of a deal. It's just coke." It's, what the fuck? But yeah, that's what happened to your friend. He got forced into being a drug dealer.
He did. Yeah. Got bullied into it, and then did it, I guess, for months.
Moved a lot of weight.
Moved a lot of weight, seemingly.
If it was an Xbox game, he'd have had some achievement points at this point. Like he's moved a lot of.
Yeah, he's a capo.
Yeah.
How about that, you guys? You guys ever been drug dealers?
I was at
allegedly
at my house. I was staying at my friend's house up in Mendocino, or a friend of his, and I didn't want to sleep on the couch. They're like, "Don't worry, you don't have to sleep on the couch." I'm like, okay, we got a room for you. There's a problem with the room though. It was harvest season, so weed. Everybody up there grows weed. It was harvest season, and the room kind of smells like weed. So if you're okay with that, and I said, "Yeah, that's fine." So I get up there, and they're like, "All right, everyone's partying all night. Time to go to bed. Okay, here's your room." They open the door and it's trash bags from floor to ceiling around all 4 walls of the room, full of weed, closets full of weed, spilling out like a grain silo. Like, what do you mean kind of smells like weed? Like, well, it does kind of smell like weed a little bit. Yeah, okay, great. This will be great. I think the tips of my hair around this part still reek of weed from when I was there, but that was fun.
That's okay. You're in California. Everyone probably stink.
I've never seen that much weed.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, the most I ever saw in one place. I was dating this girl, and one of her friends came to hang out with us. Actually, 2 of her friends came to hang out with us, and so me and my girlfriend in the front seat, they're in the back seat, and the girl in the back goes, "Check out what I got," and she pulls out like a fucking full-on pound of vacuum-sealed weed out of her bag, and I lost my mind. Like, why are you in my car with a pound of? I have never in my life seen an ounce, and you have more marijuana than I've ever seen in one place. I was so upset. I pulled that fucking car over. She had to get out of the fucking car. It was like, you're gonna wait here. We're gonna go get your car. We're gonna bring it here. You're gonna get in your car with your stuff, whatever it was I saw in that bag, those lawn clippings or whatever it was. And you can follow me places, but you can't be in my fucking car with a fucking backpack full of marijuana. That was the most I'd seen before I went to like Colorado after they legalized and opened up. And then, of course, that was like some sort of Mecca experience where you've only seen like tiny bits of just who knows what strain. It's weed. And then all of a sudden you're at like the nicest store with iPads for each strain, scrolling and automating this video about how it was grown and what the percentages of cannabinoids of it are. And like, that was cool. The first time going to Colorado and getting high was so cool.
Most weed I've ever seen. I was a teenager and I was a lifeguard, and some of the lifeguards would like rent a house together, and that's where they stayed for the summer. Anyway, I go over and they're like, "Woody, check this out." And they open a closet door, and there's a little fucking grow lamp hanging like where the rack should be, and 4 plants, each of them 3 or 4 feet tall. I guess ready to harvest ish.
Okay.
So I don't know how much that is.
Yeah, I don't either. I've never seen plants in real life. I don't think ever. I
saw that at a guy's house, and it was like news was like happening that like Missouri was going to legalize weed like in the next couple months. And he's like, "Check out my grow." And it's like 6 giant plants with an enormous amount of weed. And I just wanted to be like, what are you thinking? Like, you're taking an untold amount of risk here when in 6 weeks you could just go to the store. You could just go to the store and buy it.
Is it illegal to buy? Can you grow it now?
I think you can grow like a personal amount now in Missouri.
It varies per state on how many plants that one person can grow, and it'll even change like under one roof. Maybe like you can't have like 12 people in your house, maybe, and growing 48 plants, something like that. But it's one of those things where you don't have one marijuana law. It's state by state. It's like here in Georgia. I'm pretty sure marijuana oil, like for medical use, has been legalized for a while, but there's no way to access it. There's zero access to it. It's like, okay, it's legal. Where do I procure it? It's from a licensed procurement center.
New Jersey
those
was
don't
like
exist
that for a while.
Do you guys have ketamine doctors now? All these fucking shamans are popping out of the woodwork.
Woody's in the K-hole right fucking now, dude.
Oh,
yeah, ketamine doctors are dope.
Are you really on that stuff?
Not
like,
right
you do
now.
Therapy on it stuff, or you just pop it like an ad?
Yeah, no, I did. I went to they're not a sponsor or anything, but the company was called Mind Bloom, and it was a pretty positive experience for me. A friend of mine tried it. He said it didn't do anything good for him, but for me, it was a pretty positive experience. Just sort of I don't know, alone with your thoughts without second guessing, sort of figure things out.
The mental self audit.
I like that expression. Yeah. And, make some plans, things that might be obvious, obviously good plans, like spend time with Colin type stuff. But you do it like write down. It's like spend time with Colin, but don't forget you have these other things in the way. Nothing's in the way when you're in the K-hole. Everything is just a good idea that needs to be written down and followed through on. And it was pretty cool.
Opposite of Adderall. Everything's a bad idea.
I hate it. I hate
written down and actioned on.
And that always makes me spill food all over myself. Ketamine. I don't know if you're not. I didn't have a shaman to tell me how to do it, but every time I do ketamine, I'm like, okay, no spilling food on yourself. And then I wake up. Oh my God, I fucking did it again.
We have a very different experience. I'm like, I don't eat for, I think it's 3 or 4 hours beforehand. 1 hour beforehand, I'm taking an anti-nausea drug. It comes with the pack. They give you this like super high end. Yeah. They get like a super high end blindfold. I have a heated blanket, a scented candle in the dark room, and I just go into
like
my
FDR. We're all
FDR
pack, a quilted blanket. You Knickerbockers.
So he goes deep. He's doing some auditing. He's going in there. He's going as deep as you can go, and he can up his dose. You know, he can talk to him about. I think I need a little more. I want to go deeper down the rabbit hole.
That's what happened. For numbers, I started out at like it was 400 or 450, I think, and I was like, it worked, but I kind of felt like this is how I described it. I was like, you're drinking as a teenager, and then like an authority figure comes in the room and you suppress your drunkenness. I was like, I don't want to be suppressing my drunkenness. I don't want to be asking if I'm like leaning into this or really feeling it. And she's like, we got you. And they change it from 450 to 800 and then 1,000. So like, you know, they doubled it and then some.
Yeah.
And
white girl setting.
yeah. So like there's no fucking around. And also like, I didn't know how to take it or what. They give you all the advice. There's a blood pressure cuff that comes with it. So, you know, you're in a good spot for it.
Yeah. See, I'm glad they did that because that's how I feel about all drugs. Because I remember the first time I did mushrooms and we didn't have enough. We had like an eighth. And then I think what we tried to do was do 2 doses twice with an eighth, which just isn't enough. Like, you know, whatever that fucking is. But yeah, colors were a little. I remember we went to the park on the mushrooms, and it was like, I guess, you know, when you tinker with your TV and you can't remember if you turn the saturation up or not, but those greens are popping. That's what it was like. It was like, all right, green's green, really green. That's cool, but that's not what I was going for. I want to see some shit. When I finally took acid and I took all that acid, I was like, okay, I am undeniably high as fuck on acid right now. It like incapacitated, couldn't drive a car without seeing weird shit. The moon is breathing on acid. And it was like, this is fun. Like that's what I want.
Mushrooms you tried to drive on acid?
No, I'm just hypothetically speaking. Like,
oh man, give it a shot. I drove us home from a park because the acid. I was with my girlfriend at the local, dog park, and the acid kicked in right when these kids started tearing apart this goalpost. And I'm like, we got to get out of here. I think they're gonna tear us apart next. She's like, all right, and I'm like, I'll drive. I'm good to drive. I've been a long time drunk driver. I have a pass from Biden that says I can drunk drive whenever I want.
Like, right, you too?
Let's go. Yeah, it's cool. I'll copy it, send it to you. Somebody copied it, send it to me too. It's
just
still
download
valid.
it off the internet.
It's valid.
It's still valid. So we get in the car and I'm like, and the car, it starts like, I'm like, oh man, this is bad. How long have I been driving? And she's like, you haven't pulled out yet. I'm like, oh man,
dude, this is bad.
This is bad already. So we're driving and it's like, it just feels like, that acid, that whump you get every once in a while where everything like that Matrix, like when he goes, he flexes
in the mirror. Yes.
And it just won't unflex. You're like, oh God. And I'm driving like that. And it just doesn't seem to be going through it. And after a while, I'm sweating and I'm like, I've taken this right turn 5 or 6 times at least. There's 2 rights. I know the way back to the house. I could do it drunk. I know, but I've made this turn 6 or 7 times. And I'm like, honey, I think we're stuck in a time warp or something. She's like, I'm so glad you said something. I think we seriously are. It was like the worst. It was probably the worst 5 minutes I've ever had on any drug.
Dude, you need to get into a bedroom with a heated blanket, weighted blanket,
acid,
a scented candle. Yeah, I don't know. Acid. Here's my acid question. I always have these drug questions.
I need to jack off like I'm on fucking meth like that, dude. I'll wear my dick off on acid.
Blow off some
fucking elf.
I've never done a drug that doesn't have like some level of nausea to sort of battle. Even edibles have that. None.
Not only did acid have none, and I like took 1, and then like maybe 45 minutes took 2, and then like maybe 45 minutes took 3, and then at 3 I was like, just give me all of them, and got to 4 or 5. But at no point did I feel nauseous. In fact, I was hungry. I remember that's when I tell that story about eating that delicious donut. We had a maple bacon donut delivered from this, and it had like really fancy bacon on top, and it was crispy. And I just remembered that was so fucking delicious. And no nausea, and that's always my fear too. Like with, because I'll get nauseous on any number of things, and that just ruins the whole experience. I always get Like, if I drink too much, I get so nauseous, the whole night's fucking ruined. I'm just,
I've been there for that.
yeah, it's all, yeah, sure. Plenty of people have had a problem.
You know what acid has that's great is another benefit is at least for me, the farting. There's like a stage, I don't know, like 2 hours
Really?
in. Oh man,
that.
I sound like the Blazing Saddles camp. For like an hour and a half, like all. I'm like, man, this is awesome. Thank God we got the sex out of the way because this would really fuck me
Acid
up.
to me is the best drug, as long as you don't have to operate any vehicles or machine or anything like that, or be expected to like fight for your life or do anything where you need to be you, because you're not capable.
I know we're on the air, but like, how did you find it? How did you find somebody?
Oh, like friends got it for me.
That's the way
Okay.
it always goes. Yeah.
Yeah, right
Like-
now I'm curious about it. I'm very curious, but I don't want to grab my skateboard and just hello fellow kids it down at the school. And
Please
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, yeah.
Milk it
you
out
need
of
like
bums in L.A. You just soak their hair and then just wring it out. Just drop it.
is there
it doesn't
anywhere,
come from their nipples.
is there
Go up
anywhere
to
it's
them and go up to
legal?
the kids and do like the what's up from the 2001 Bud Light commercial.
They'll hit it back.
Dude, they love that. Yeah. Dude, this guy in his Gene Co Gene seems pretty legit.
That's cool, man. He's not sus at all.
Are those pogs? Yeah.
Button fly jeans. Wow, you're 1988. Awesome.
LA gear and a skateboard, you'll fit right in. Yeah, it was just a friend brought it. I'm sure they got it from somebody it's really cheap and it's really small and it's just little pieces of paper, like a mat, it's a big square that tears into tons and tons of tiny squares, and I think they dip that whole thing in acid and then let it dry, and so each one of them is now dosed.
I wonder
So
if
they're
it's
like-
complicated to make.
I don't know
Yeah.
anything
You
about
gonna make
that.
it? You got a chemistry set over there with your ketamine, Woody?
Yeah, I've been keeping a coral reef tank. We got a microscope. We got
same
we got
thing.
some ingredients here and there.
Yeah.
I'm mixing
Hook
up
some
sodium
man.
hydroxide and calcium carbonate on the daily. Why can't
You
I
keep a
make acid?
goldfish alive, you can make LSD. Let's go.
Quick stop by the pool store, get all your equipment, and you're good to go.
Make some semen blowing acid while you're at it. When you guys doing that stuff that you're always selling?
To weaponize your
yes.
semen. Ooh, we can weaponize our semen.
Yes, we already kind of have. With. I mean, I don't
Since
like
the dawn of
weaponized
time.
semen. Weaponized semen sounds like you have AIDS.
Acidic semen.
That's what Dirty had. With all that Pepsi in his
AIDS.
diet.
Yeah, but I want like truly acidic. Like I want it to, like if you shot it in a cop's eyes, like he'd be like he wouldn't be able to fend you off at that point.
Wow, why?
If you
I'll
stand
tell
there
you,
for 5 more minutes, you're in trouble.
and not a
Stand
criminal's eyes. How much acid did you take before your harrowing drive?
Oh, like a half probably. Like none. One maybe. I don't go crazy. I think one's too much. Honest, that's what freaks people out. I always
I wanna
dilute it in
see
like
stuff.
a water bottle.
Like it's important to me. I like that was the first time I done it, and I really wanted to like see a thing that wasn't there for the first time in my whole life. Because since you're a kid, that's what cartoons make
Yeah.
beer seem like.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, he drank beer. He sees pink elephants flying, and so you go get drunk, waiting for the fucking light show, and nothing happens. But a headache and throwing up on the seat, and then every drug after that was the same thing, marijuana, and then they said that about mushrooms. Mushrooms don't make you see things. It's like changing the contrast and the saturation on your television. That's what happens to me anyway, and I get nauseous as fuck. But acid, I was seeing shit move around. There was shit that wasn't there. There were colors that weren't there that were just happening. Like I was looking at a picture of a clown that was creepy, painting of a clown that happened to be in like the rec room at that house, and its face was wiggling and like
Mushrooms will do that for you too if you take enough.
What
But
an
I also
awful
struggle with
painting
the
to
nausea
have
thing.
around on hallucinogens.
it was upsetting a little bit.
You've stared at the clown painting.
I stared at whatever I could to like get different experiences, because every interesting object becomes a kaleidoscope that you can walk up to like and sort of experience. The moon was my favorite thing. It was a night where there were fast moving clouds moving between me and the moon. Obviously, it was a full moon, and I don't know. It was like a horror movie, the way the clouds are just moving past it and it's sort of translucent, coming in and out of focus. And that was amazing to stare at. And then we had a fire going outside, so watching
I
fire
can
and
see
embers
fire.
on acid,
Fire's neat. So
that was fucking cool. But
Taylor
just your
ties into-
phone. Just your
into
phone is
something
cool.
important. The whole set and setting thing. If you guys listening have never done any kind of psychedelics, set and setting is your mindset and the like place. And Kyle describes a really great experience where he was with good friends in a good place where there was not very much that was scary, and got to experiment with the effects of it. Had he been at like a nightclub surrounded by strangers, he might not have had a good time.
Yeah, maybe not. That could have been weird. I
You could be
feel
a unique person too with acid, because you also said you ate a bunch of food on acid.
tons of it.
And
Yeah.
I've always heard from, I've never done acid, but everyone I've
We all
talked to who's
did,
done
though.
it is like, oh yeah, I don't eat on it. Like it's gross.
The whole group did the acid, and like 4 or 5 of us at least, and we all ate the donuts. Like Fish ate donuts. He was on acid, allegedly.
Yeah.
As far as I know. And but there were, I don't know. It didn't affect my appetite, but bar none, that is my favorite drug to do. If I could only do one drug, I would do that drug. I have read and heard that you need to do that drug like maybe once a month, because you're releasing a lot of brain chemicals or something that need to rejuvenate before you dump that supply again. So that makes sense.
That does.
Maximum. Oh, once a month.
The one,
Yeah.
I asked somebody on Reddit recently, they like Molly, and I was like, I've heard that Molly is borrowing the joy from the next 2 or 3 days and having it all condensed into tonight. Does that sound right? And this is just a Reddit stranger, but they're like, yes, 1000% true. That is how it is. So
I don't. It hits some people pretty hard where they're in bed all day. I could do.
This is the
I could
next
do Molly
day?
like I could drink. I wake up like, yeah, let's go. All right, I'm in an even better mood today because I'm not functioning at peak.
but that's on the Molly,
performance.
right? Or are you talking about the day after? Because
The day after, people have people are always talking about those hangovers, but I don't know. I think my joy is already so low that it can't go any
Yeah,
lower.
his
Bottom
secret,
out.
he's always joyless.
Yeah, I'm like a lowrider. I'm like that.
Yeah.
I'm
I
feeling
had the
like
same
shit today
experience
anyway.
I had the
Feel
same
like shit,
experience
look
with the
like
acid.
shit.
Like, I felt
Sorry.
great the next day after all that acid. I wanted more. But like not an addictive kind of way, but just like that was great.
Not in an addictive kind of way, but I
Just when I'll
wanted
suck
more.
your dick if I could have a little more.
I just needed more, and I was willing to do anything to get
Anything it took. But then we did a show where I took a 1,000 milligrams of marijuana edibles, and I don't really remember that show, but I do remember having to go to the airport the next morning and still being so cripplingly high that just sitting in the back seat of the Uber, I forgot where I was for a while on the way to the airport and got terrified because there was an African man driving me in the dark and I didn't know where I was.
You thought you'd been kidnapped,
Awful.
perhaps.
That's what happened that night at Applebee's or whatever. I thought we'd been kidnapped for a brief moment. Like I got so high in the back of that.
Like some Senegalese Uber pirates. Or...
Well, like, we were all just in a van together driving to Applebee's, and I'd never been to Chicago before. Maybe once or twice. I didn't know where the fuck I was though. And I got so high, and what had happened, we got a little bit lost, and we pulled into a residential neighborhood, and then into a house's driveway.
White boy had to pee. Yeah.
No, we're just doing a J turn. We're turning around and going back the other way. But to me, I come out of my stupor,
Jewish?
and I'm being taken to a house in the dark in Chicago in a van full of people I barely know. I was real scared.
Yeah.
I was real scared.
The pre that was a classic Kyle tale. It was like the first time we'd actually hung out for an extended period of time. It's like 2010, and like I was like, oh, Kyle's a big pothead. I smoke pot. Like I smoked, and Kyle and I were walking in together, and he leaned over to me and he's like, this is the highest I've ever been, as he's walking in, and he was taking like the Ministry of Silly Walks.
Yep.
He was walking like he was going upstairs with his knees
Really high knees.
We were on a flat plane, so he looked like a fucking lunatic walking in. And I remember thinking like, all right, I don't look as high as this guy. Like,
Yeah. No, I was high stepping because to my eyes, I remember this very vividly. The asphalt was so close. It was like you put someone else's glasses on and they make everything seem closer than it is. I had that effect. I was so fucking hot.
that was too much. That was the night. Yeah, it must have been after Applebee's that like we got lost again, and White Boy said he had to pee so bad he just like got out and peed in the neighborhood.
I don't remember that. I have no memory of those events. Genuinely, no.
I do. It was like, you can't hold it, man. I don't think we're that far like, from where we're supposed to be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to him. I hope he's doing well. I don't know anything about what White Boy's up to.
Yeah.
Still setting records, still setting nukes.
I don't think so. I don't know why that's so funny. It's like, no, I think like probably anything but that.
I think 13 years has passed since he was doing that shit.